In his court case, Harry released a statement saying that the media had caused Chelsy Davies to stop dating him. Okay, Harry, so he claimed that she really was the love of his life, and if it were not for the media coverage that supposedly, in Harry's opinion, scared Chelsy away from Harry and her royal life, Chelsy certainly would have stayed with him and they would have gotten married. Well, how does Meghan feel about this brand new assertion? This just goes to show that the marriage between Meghan and Harry is finished. The only thing at this point keeping them together is Meghan's desperate need to be called Duchess of Sussex. If she leaves Harry, which she might, then she could still use that title, although she would make herself look ridiculous in the process. Now that I think of it, Meghan looks ridiculous anyway, so she should probably just go ahead and use the title. Let's remember, she's the one who asked her staff to call her not by her first name, but always by her title. I'm serious, folks. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. It is pretty funny, and this is the show that we have been waiting for. So get your popcorn ready, because it looks like the wheels are finally falling off the Harry and Meghan clown show. I am so ready for it too. I'm ready for all this nonsense to finally come to an end, and for the truth to come out. The mudslinging, though, that's going to go from Harry to Meghan and vice versa is not going to be pretty. Chelsy Davies, though, I don't think is bothered by any of this because she is living her best life with her handsome husband. She was the one who did look very upset at Harry's wedding to the yacht girl. But was it because she knew that Harry fell for this I'm pregnant trick? It is the oldest trick in the book, and Meghan used it to trap Harry. I guess he fell asleep while she peed on a stick. Let's remember that is what he said. And then she announced to him that Archie was coming. He did fall for the oldest trick in the book, that idiot. The fact is, Meghan Markle has never been the love of Harry's life. Chelsy was. Meghan's been spending time with Marcus Anderson, who looks really different lately, but the two of them love to come up with some horrible ideas between the two of them. Now, Meghan and Marcus have actually been buddies for over a decade, so what in the world is going on with Meghan hiking and all that jewelry? And she made sure to pose for the photographer, who we know she called up to come anyway. Where were the invisible children, though, Archofficial and Invisibed? I'm sure they'd have loved to have gone on a hike with their mother. What is it, are they just trapped inside? They don't ever get to play outside? I've got to admit, with all the reminders that it was Archofficial's 4th birthday, the first thing I thought when I saw that stupid photo was how bizarre it was that Meghan would leave her kids on a day that supposedly was so important that it warranted her refusing an invitation to the coronation. Surely Meghan had some kind of party stuff to organize. At this point, I don't think I need any further proof that those children do not exist. No real mother is going to abandon her own child on his birthday just to go out hiking with her lover or whatever he is to her, especially after having made such a big deal about how wonderful and amazing that birthday party was going to be. But anyway, back to Harry. So that is how he understands his time with Chelsy. Of course, we don't know them, but a fair assessment would probably be that after a few years together, and her knowing him pretty well, she decided that he simply was not husband material. I think that was the right decision. Cressida, another of Harry's exes, came to a similar conclusion. Chelsy is actually very intelligent. She went to university, she studied law, and now she's got her own business. Harry's an idiot, though, so of course that relationship was never going to work out. Harry blames the media for everything that has gone wrong in his life, but he probably needs to start looking in the mirror to find the real cause of all of his problems. At this point, Harry is just fodder for them because of his bad life choices. And the fact is, a friend of Chelsy's said that she in fact did not leave him because of the media. She left him because they simply grew apart and she didn't love him enough to want to sacrifice her freedom to be a member of the royal family. So maybe she was the love of his life, but he was not the love of her life. This is not such a unique story. I mean, it's not like something that has only ever affected Harry. Come on. There are many people out there who have to deal with unrequited love. In life, you need to be careful about what you wish for and the things that you're going to expect from somebody else. Come to realize that, you know what, you do get back what you put out. You reap what you sow. So you got to be careful about what you're putting out there. See, when you put out a lot of spite, a lot of hatred, then that's what you're going to get back in turn. Because you know what, the harvest is always greater than the seed. And what in the world is wrong with Harry? He thinks it's perfectly acceptable for him to invade everybody else's privacy, like that poor older woman he had a roll in the hay with in a field when he was 16 years old. And then she felt like she had to out herself before the media did. And now it's Chelsy. I'm sure her husband is just thrilled with all this news. But if you dare to invade Harry's privacy, oh well, he's going to tell everybody that he's the victim. Harry doesn't see anything wrong with openly discussing his ex-girlfriend's lives in court or in the media, but if anybody dares to discuss his life, well, he goes bonkers. Harry has no respect for anybody. He seems to believe that because he's a prince, he can invade everybody else's privacy. But he needs to show some respect to his ex-girlfriend Chelsy Davy. She is a married woman now. He's married too, for that matter. If anybody said anything about Meghan, you know he would immediately be filing a lawsuit. It's about time somebody sued Harry so that maybe he could learn he needs to respect other people too, especially his sister-in-law Catherine and his brother. He has got to stop bothering them. We also need to remember that Harry's viewpoint is heavily affected by drug abuse. He also thinks that his family magically made Diana's driver get drunk and drive her into a wall. I mean, the thing is, Harry has proven himself to be a very unreliable narrator. But if this really is his perspective, which is basically just a lie that he tells himself to prevent narcissistic injury, then does anybody believe that Meghan maybe was telling the truth? I remember watching a body language expert talking about their behavior during that Oprah interview, and at least in that part of the interview, Meghan had corresponding body language to imply that she was telling the truth, and that Harry really hadn't told her anything. And you know what? I think Chelsy Davy is so incredibly lucky anyway. Boy, did she dodge a bullet by not marrying Harry. She's not like Meghan. She reminds me a lot, actually, of Catherine. She's a classy woman, and she just shows how dignified she really is. See, Meghan only got Harry because he was on the rebound. If it were not for Harry's depression from losing the love of his life, and his desperation along with his loneliness and his entitlement problems, I don't think he ever would have agreed to marry someone like Meghan. And at the end of the day, Meghan really didn't get much out of this relationship. She got a two-timing husband who never really loved her. She got a mentally challenged man as her husband that has some severe entitlement issues. They do say be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. I can't help but feel curious about how things may have turned out if he had had those years of therapy a lot sooner. I mean the 7 years worth that he has said in the past that he'd had, urged by his brother, of course, at the end of which he claims he came to terms with the loss of his mother, and also the crazy behavior of his teenage years, not to mention the press-related paranoia. I'm not talking about the supposed counseling that he only got at the suggestion of Meghan, who managed to drag up the past in a really disturbing way, real and made-up stories, and also she somehow managed to cause him to regress at least about 20 years and turn him against his own loving family. And what about you? Do you agree with the opinions in my video? Please tell me your feelings and thoughts below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it. And please subscribe.